Happy Monday, traders. It's Matt and Jacey with Empire Algorithmic Trading here to give you your VWAP Vision's Stock Talk.
It's where we use the volume weighted average price to make sense of the market, tells us who's in control, buyers or sellers. So let's just get to it, shall we, Matt?
Here comes Stock Talk.
Well, happy Monday, Matt. The futures last night and this morning were showing bloodbath all over the place. But it turned out to be quite the interesting session. You had a little fake news in there with a rumor saying that Trump was going to pause the tariffs for 90 days, and the market just took off. And then it found out it wasn't. So then it was rather volatile, to say the least. But more importantly is what happened throughout the day and where the market found support. So let's just take a look at some charts. All right, so here's the S&P 500. Now, this blue line here at the 4,900 level, that is the VWAP from the low of the last bear market. Now, that's a pretty significant VWAP to find support at, simply because this whole run started with that low. And so I always like to you find more support at the high from the previous base, but it's encouraging to see this. And so it's not a surprise. If you didn't know the VWAP was there, you would have no idea that there's a potential support level here, because we're below all the traditional support levels. We're below the 50-day, the 200-day, the 10-day, the 20-day, the 21-day, the 5-day. Any kind of average out there, we're below, unless they use the volume weighted average price, like we know how to do, which gives us hence our VWAP vision, right? And so it was very exciting. Like I said to our friend last night in our text chain, hey, look for this to be support level. You don't want to be selling here. The signal's already been had. The selling now we got to pick our exit spots. I still believe we're in store for a bear market. We've avoided that so far on the S&P 500. We might be in that little Goldilocks probability. We're only 12% of corrections in bull markets correct between 17 and 20% and then rally higher. However, that's a slim majority. You got some cross currents going here. Higher probability of the more than 15% in less than 2 months. 70% of the times turns into bear markets. So there's odds are that we are going to hit bear market territory. The length is going to be the question, right? Is it going to last for a short amount of time? Is it going to last for a year and a half? Is it going to last for 2 years? That's the billion-dollar question. So there is some studies that I did find today. Mark Minervini put a post out showing that after back-to-back 4.5% plus declines in the S&P 500, what has usually happened 1 month, 2 months, 3 months down the road. Now, there's only been 15 of these occurrences dating back to 1929. And the numbers show it's pretty good. So 2 weeks later, 5 of the 15 were below where they were today after the 4.5% declines. After 1 month, only 2 of the 15 instances, the S&P 500 was below. After 2 months, again, only 2 of the 15 it was below. 3 months, that average starts going up a little bit. You're starting to see 5 of the 15 are now lower than they were when they flashed the signal. So what that tells you is there's going to be a rally. We're going to see a rally from here. It wouldn't surprise me at all if we saw it rally up to the upper VWAP. So that's going to be your 1 to 2 months time frame there. But the bear market indicator, that's where you see the 6 months, right? The 5 or 6 months. That's when more of them are down. Actually, after 6 months, only one time the S&P was down. So I shouldn't say that. I should say after a year. After a year, about 54% of the time, the S&P was down. So that's where your bear market's coming into play. So there's potential for life here. It's not anything that I'm going to put any capital in. It's still too volatile. We still have some serious potential for some real downside. The average bear market is really a 33% decline. The probability once we get past 20% that we get to 30% is pretty high. So it's going to be volatile, right? And anything that study shows, it doesn't show how low it got after those trading signals. It just shows where it was 2 months, 3 months afterwards. So,
Sure.
you're going to have to ride that out if you're into it. But if you just want to avoid the bear, now's not the time to get out. You're going to want to sell into any strength just to reduce your exposure, if not get out at all. Wait for the volatility to die down, wait for it to cross the VWAP, wait for the buyers to be in control. Then all right, now the probabilities and the odds are in my favor. I want to start putting some capital at work. So, pretty exciting session actually. It was overdue. I hate to say I hate oversold, right? But it's right at long-term support VWAP. It was just ripe for this kind of scenario. It's interesting. I'm so excited about an actual down day. But it was more the action at the VWAP, the fact that it opened there and it just rallied right off of it and it never really tested it again right after the open. So the volatility is showing us that there's buyers and sellers, showing there's a battle going on here, and we're going to see this play out a little while. And again, it's another reason why I just don't like volatility. I like it when they go
Yeah.
up. Right? I like it when
Yeah.
stocks go up. So let's
Like riding
avoid
a
all
rock.
this. I mean, it's just no fun, man. It's hard. It's anxiety inducing. Do I sell? Is it all going? It's always then once you do sell, it's going right back up. Then you're like, oh, so you buy back, it goes right back down. No, let's just let the market sort itself out. So uh, the Nasdaq Composite, similar thing. Now the Nasdaq actually did end up closing positive, but its VWAP actually is from the high from the previous bear market. So this is a very significant VWAP to find support at. So I'm hoping this holds. The simple fact that the Nasdaq is in a bear market, it did hit that threshold. We very well could see this could be a pretty significant bottoming sign right here. So
Hmm.
I'm a lot more excited about the Nasdaq's chart suddenly, whereas a couple of weeks ago the Nasdaq was a dog, man. I mean, it was
Couple
ugly
weeks ago, couple days ago,
days
Jace.
ago. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Compared to the S&P 500, but that's also the inverse relationship of being a leader, right? You look the worst when everything else is looking, and then you start looking the best just as everything else is starting to look the worst. So, I guess in a roundabout way, the Nasdaq is leading the way potentially. So what we have here is a clear bottom, right? So, what I mean by a clear bottom is this is a point of reference from here on out that we're going to look for to either hold or if it breaks for it to get right back to, right? So this is like a line of demarcation, right? So if it forces below there quickly, odds are we're going to keep going down. If it holds, if it snaps back, then we're probably going to see a rip higher. So this is just a good bottoming potential. We want to see some further stability go on here. We want to see this VWAP support hold a little bit more, but it's a good first step. So that's a little bit of the bullish in me coming out, right? Um, the small caps, still kind of a similar thing. Let's see if we can find, I think this one, you actually got to go back a little bit ways. Yeah, you got to go back on the weekly, and the weekly is kind of a different beast on TC 2000. Not quite the same VWAPs, but the small caps on a price basis are kind of right where it bottomed out during the last bear market. I think that is, yeah, 22. So the small caps potentially showing some life. Let's just see if we can find the support on the weekly. Yeah, if you set that anchor back in 2015, then we're holding right above that VWAP there. So
Wow.
not a very consistent. I mean, it's really only. I mean, it blew right through it during the pandemic. Kind of
Right.
bounced off of it during the last bear market. Actually, that's a pretty sweet support spot. So we'll see if that holds. We'll just set that there on the weekly. It's probably going to show a little bit higher on the daily chart. So we'll just take that off the weekly so we don't get confused. We'll just keep a point, little reference point, looking for some support here. And then same thing with the mid caps. The mid caps long term, this support is from the pandemic low. Uh,
Wow.
Rallied right to it, found a floor, rallied right back off of it. As you can see, it did find resistance at the upper VWAP, which is from the Previous high back in November of 21, the last high it had before it broke out of that. So, there's some couple dynamics playing out there, but it's pretty cool to see the market just come to life. Buyers come in right where you want to see the long-term buyers come in. So, uh,
Mhm.
we've got some hope there, Matt. And then
Well,
bonds sold off pretty hard
wow.
today. So hopefully that trend doesn't continue. We do want bonds to kind of to stabilize. We want a steady interest rate, stable
Yeah.
interest rates. We want to see these things hold on because if these take a dump, the odds of equities maintaining that momentum are going to be slim and none. So those are some of the things we're watching there, Matt. And
You know,
for another down Monday, it was kind of an exciting day.
well, and the other crazy thing looking at that too, if you look at every single one of those charts we just looked at well, since Wednesday, and we've been using the analogy of a card game for quite some time between the buyers and sellers, both just waiting for the other to kind of, you know, tease their hand or play their hand a little bit until they dive in. Well, then Trump came in and played the Trump card, and all of a sudden everybody got off their butts, and now you just see massive volume coming through all of the
Yeah.
last 3 days, just massive volume. So everybody is now trying to lay every single card they possibly can all at the same time. And you just see it going. So
It's amazing how fast the market works.
yeah.
And just when people are just getting their bearings, and I just mean like the average person, right? The person that isn't an addict like you and I are. When the average person is just going, hold up a second, what happened? It's potentially already over, right? And so
Mhm.
it could it prices it in that fast. I'm not saying it is over. Don't get me. I don't want to. I'm not calling a bottom here. I do think we're in a bear market. I do think we're going to see resistance at the upper VWAP. This is going to take some time to sort out. I mean, this is a significant move that the Trump administration made right here, and I don't think it can be easily discounted because there's really nobody has any idea what the effects are going to be. So. And
Mhm.
really, like we were talking about yesterday, what's the real goal here? Is it a restructuring of global trade and the U.S. dollar's role in that as a currency reserve? Is it just simply just manufacturing capabilities in the United States? Is it a resetting of the baseline for future tax and spending policies, where if we destroy, create a crisis, an economic crisis that forces us to continue to do what Doge is doing even more, then we have no choice but to reset the baseline for years on out, and then all policy from then on will be going from this point forward. So, there's a lot of different plays here that are going on, and how can anybody price any of that out? So. That's why you're seeing volatility. That's why the VIX is up. That's why implied volatilities are so huge on options contracts. So, I mean, if you're an options seller, I mean, this is a perfect time because you're getting wicked premiums for
Coming out
options
of
that are probably
hibernation.
way out of the money, right? So, it's a good time to be a premium seller. Unfortunately, I don't have the patience for that, right? You got to
Mm.
wait and wait for the contract to expire, and it's like I want to see my stocks move and get in and get out. So, that's a little bit more of my risk tolerance, my personality traits. But I mean, if you can trade it, it's a great setup. I mean, they're great things to do. So. It's a fun market. It's exciting to see. I do feel for everybody who's essentially trapped at this point,
Yep.
uh, and kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. So, uh, but but it sure is fun to watch from the
Well,
sidelines.
well, and with so many people being trapped too, that constant, oh no, is it going to get worse? Do I sell? So you're going to see so much more volatility because nobody knows what they want to do and they don't want to lose more.
Yeah,
But then you have the other side of the coin where people are like, it's the bottom. I'm buying it all right now. You know, so
yeah.
you have all the competing ethos just going all at the same time, and it's just crazy to see.
Yeah, it's pretty fun to watch. So, thanks for coming along with me on this ride, Matt. I
A
appreciate getting to
blast. Thank you.
talk to you about this every day. It's a lot of fun. We'll see how this plays out. Again, I'm not. I'm expecting resistance at the VWAP. It's It's already been tested once and it failed miserably. We
Mm.
blew through all the potential support levels over the last couple of years, and now we're talking, 3 years of average buyers. That's a significant, and it was a massive run, right? So
Hmm.
it's a pretty significant move, and I don't think it's over with. There's a lot of cross currents going on, like I said, and a lot of this stuff takes some time to unwind, but it's just amazing how fast
Oh.
it blinks and you're already right where I thought would take a little while to get, and it took 3 days. I mean, it's like, man, but that's what, looking back, that's what we wanted, right? We were talking, let's
Yep.
just get this done. Let's just get
Yeah.
the selling over with. Let's get
Yep.
this over with, get it out of the way. And it's that's what we got, right? So it might not be out of the way, but
So it's your
definitely
fault.
happened
You
fast.
asked for it. That's what it
Right?
is.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. No, yeah. So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun, but we'll just get back at it tomorrow and see what tomorrow brings. So, where can everybody find us, Matt?
Well, for those of you listening on Spotify, please go ahead, subscribe to the channel and like. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube, because you just can't get enough of JC's tanned face over there. I mean, it's just tell you what, make sure that you follow, subscribe to us there, click the like button. And then if follow us on socials, we've got Facebook, Instagram, we've got our X. We also have some Blue Sky there. Follow us on all of the platforms. Threads, we're on Threads. Um, and if you want to learn more about who we are or what we do, VWAPvision.com, VWAPvision.com. And for those who want access to our algorithmic daily buy and sell signals, that can be found over on Patreon. We also have a couple other things like some educational videos. We also talk about how we are using those buy and sell signals in our personal strategies, and just kind of give you some information to that. You can subscribe at Patreon, patreon.com// Empire Algorithmic Trading. And as JC and I always say, happy trading, everybody.
Happy trading, everybody. All right, Matt. We'll talk to you later.
See you tomorrow, buddy.
Yep. Bye.